and welcome to VOSR International, the voice of shortwave radio. I'm your host, Wavecrest Guy. This broadcast is being transmitted by WRMI, Radio Miami International, in Okeechobee, Florida, on both 9455 and 15770 kilohertz. This broadcast is also being transmitted by shortwave radio in Lower Saxony, Germany, on 3975 kilohertz.
All right, so we will go ahead and start out this broadcast with some announcements as usual. I want to kind of go over first of how my scheduling goes for recording these broadcasts. And right now I'm a little bit ahead of schedule. I usually finish up a broadcast on the Monday before they get broadcast on Thursday and on Saturdays. But now I'm a whole week ahead in my scheduling. And what I usually do is a lot of times when I get ideas, I do some recording on Mondays and Wednesdays and sometimes Fridays. And I will record some segments and then keep those files and add them to a broadcast as I'm putting the show together. For right now, just to give you a little bit of timing wise, this is our July 4th broadcast for Saturdays. It'll go to Germany through shortwave Radio Gold on July 2nd. And today is the June 15th that I'm recording this announcements part of the broadcast. Usually the announcements is one of the last things that I'll end up doing at the start, because I try to get that to be more timely. And then the very last segment that I broadcast is the mailbag. And again, trying to keep that to where the mail isn't over a month old or anything like that, that I'm able to get out during that segment. So I wait as long as I can before I do the mailbag segment. Now, I usually get the files to the radio stations on the Monday before, like I said. So it is June 15th right now. This one is going to be broadcast on July 2nd and July 4th. And so on June 28th June 29th, the Monday, is when I will transfer it over to Shortwave Gold. Through the internet transfer, and then I am able to go into WRMI and add the files into the queue so they are all ready. So I usually get those done on Monday. It gives me a little bit extra time. If something happens, I can go as late as Tuesday or Wednesday. Especially with RMI, I try not to go any later than Tuesday for Shortwave Gold out of Germany, because they will be broadcasting it on Thursday. So that's kind of how I do these broadcasts and get them set together. Like right now, I have about 2 or 3 segments ready to go that I can just add to a show, and then as I come up with ideas and research them and have to put them together, I will record them as a segment, and then I can just plug it in, depending on which broadcast and how long the segments turn out to be. Is which broadcast I'll end out getting them on. Some of the history segments that I do, obviously they don't really have to be timely or anything like that, or some of the radio evaluations or equipment evaluations, I can plug those into any show. But when I'm doing announcements for like listening clubs and that type of thing, I try to make sure that I have some time that I can plug anything more timely, or if announcements about radio shows coming out or radio shows being canceled or that type of thing, I will try to get that in as timely as I can. So I may misspeak once in a while when I'm talking about some timing and things coming out. That's because it gets confusing when I'm doing a broadcast, and when I'm adding a segment in, the timing might not quite work that well. So that's how the shows get put together, and I just wanted to make sure everyone's aware of that, and especially when you're listening to the mailbag, I try to get the dates that they sent it in and what broadcast they were listening to. That actually helps, and it keeps it a little bit more cohesive. All right, and with that out of the way, remember that we do have I've got two new kinds of QSL cards that you can send in for. So send in your reception reports, your comments about the show, comments about the segments. Let me know where you're at. It's really the only way I could tell anyone's out there listening. It's great when I get new listeners just turning the dial and finding our program and finding our broadcast and sending us a message. Those are always awesome, as is regular listeners continuing to send in. It is really helpful, so I know how the broadcast is going out, especially the way propagation changes all the time, constantly. So there's some broadcasts that just don't go out very well. Going back to that, the timing of my recording and then broadcasting the shows. It also wanted to mention my past broadcast. When I usually send those off to be broadcast on shortwave, then I usually upload them to YouTube, but then I usually give about a 14, 15, 16-day delay when they will be released on YouTube. That way it goes out on shortwave first. Shortwave is the first medium for me. I want to make sure the show gets out on shortwave. It gives me an extra week also, just in case something comes up and I can't get a broadcast out. If it gets rebroadcast, it won't be something that you might have seen on YouTube if you go over there and look at the broadcasts that are the past broadcast page. So you'll keep that in mind also. So anyways, keep the emails coming, keep them coming in, keep the communication flowing. If you got ideas for a broadcast, if you want to be a guest host, do a guest segment, just send me an email. Get those emails into VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. Or head over to our website at VOSRinternational.com, click on the mail icon, and contact us that way. Also, speaking about our website, a lot of stuff you can go over there and check out. The past broadcasts that I just mentioned, there's a page over there that you can check out all the past broadcasts, going back to the very first one on August 28th of 2025 is when the first one came out. And as of June 15th, as I'm recording this, the latest broadcast is May 30th that is being out. So, but when you hear this on July 2nd or July 4th, it'll go all the way up to June 13th's broadcast. They will all be available from June 13th and before that. So all those will be able to be checked out on our website. We got a page over there. You can go over to our YouTube channel at Wavecrest Guy. I have a playlist over there with all of them on there also. So either way you want to check them out, they are available just in case you miss some or propagation. We are in the depths of summer, so I know people are busy doing different things. And sometimes propagation just doesn't work out to be able to catch the show. Also, while you're over on our website, we have our listeners map, where when you send in your location, I will go ahead and I will put a pin on our listeners map, and you can go check that out. There's a whole page dedicated for that. I try to keep that on the top of the page. And then also we have our VOSR International merchandise. If you want to support the show, you can go over and you'll purchase some. We got hats and shirts and desk pads and mouse pads and coffee mugs. So there's a lot of different stuff in there that are kind of nice to have around, and they make it nice additions to your radio room. So go check that out. Then we also have a page for listeners' radios and listeners' setups, radio rooms. Send in your pictures, email those to us, and I'll get them put on the website. A lot of nice radios to go check through over there. Haven't gotten one actually in a week or two. Usually I get one at least every week or so. Sometimes I'll get 3 or 4. So I haven't gotten one in a little bit. You can give a picture of yourself sitting there, or just get your equipment, send it on over, and I will get that put up on the website so everyone can check out all the radios that everybody's listening to the broadcast with. Also, if you are on Facebook, we are also on that medium. You can go over to VOSR International. You can join the group, and then you can post. You can post videos there. You can post comments, and I will read those during the mailbag segment. So that'll be another way that you can go ahead and you can communicate with us. You can also check out our Reddit group over at Grundig Shortwave Radio. You don't have to have a Grundig radio to join that group. That one's been around a little bit longer. There's quite a few more people in that group, but go check it out. And the same thing, once you join, you can go ahead and do some posting, and you can check out everybody's comments, and everybody's very helpful if you have any questions that you can post over there. All right, I think I got everything covered, so let's go on with the show. All right, our first segment is going to be an historical shortwave radio broadcast, and this one in honor of the USA's sesquicentennial, the 250th year anniversary of the birth of the United States. And going back on this and checking it out, this one I really remember the bicentennial back in 1976. I believe I was in maybe 6th grade, and that was really a big deal. We were going to school, and we were collecting things, memorabilia and things like that that were being produced for the bicentennial, and it was a really huge event back then. I remember as a kid, and that 4th of July was probably one of the biggest that I remember. There was just so much patriotism at the time and stuff coming out specifically for the bicentennial. Our class actually did a whole display. We tried to collect as much as we can that was bicentennial related products and things like that, and advertisements and trinkets, and we had a huge display, filled up the whole room. It was something I really remember about going to grammar school was when the bicentennial did happen. So in looking back and wanting to do something a little special here, I was able to find a speech. The president at the time of the bicentennial was President Gerald Ford, and I was able to find that he did give a bicentennial speech. So I do have that here, and I'm going to play that from July 4th, 1976, Gerald Ford giving a speech on the bicentennial.
Members of Congress, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On Washington's birthday in 1861, a fortnight after 6 states had formed a confederacy of their own, Abraham Lincoln came here to Independence Hall, knowing that in 10 days he would face the cruelest national crisis of our 85-year history. I am filled with deep emotion, he said, at finding myself standing here in the place where collected together the wisdom, the patriotism, the devotion to principle from which sprang the institutions under which we live. Today, we can all share these simple, noble sentiments. Like Lincoln, I feel both pride and humility, rejoicing and reverence, as I stand in the place where 2 centuries ago the United States of America was conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. From this small but beautiful building, then the most imposing structure colonies, came the 2 great documents that continue to supply the moral and intellectual power for the American adventure in self-government. Before me is the great bronze bell that joyously rang out the news of the birth of our nation from the steeple of the State House. It was never intended to be a church bell. Yet a generation before the great events of 1776, the elected Assembly of Pennsylvania ordered it to be inscribed with this biblical verse: proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. The American settlers had many, many hardships, but they had more liberty than any other people on earth. That was what they came for and what they meant to keep. The verse from Leviticus on the Liberty Bell refers to the ancient Jewish year of Jubilee. In every 50th year, the Jubilee restored the land and the equality of persons that prevailed when the children of Israel entered the land of promise. And both gifts came from God, as the Jubilee regularly reminded them. Our founding fathers knew their Bibles as well as their Blackstone. They boldly reversed the age-old political theory that kings derive their powers from God and asserted that both powers and unalienable rights belong to the people as direct endowments from their Creator. Furthermore, they declared that governments are instituted among men to secure their rights and to serve their purposes, and governments continue only so long as they have the consent of the governed. When George Washington, already commanding the American Continental Army in the field, the Second Continental Congress met here in 1776, not to demand new liberties, but to regain long-established rights, which were being taken away from them without their consent. The American Revolution was unique and remains unique in that it was fought in the name of the law as well as liberty. At the start, the Declaration of Independence proclaimed the divine source of individual rights and the purpose of human government as Americans understood it. That purpose is to secure the rights of individuals against even government itself. But the Declaration did not tell us how to accomplish this purpose or what kind of government to set up. First, our independence had to be won. It was not won easily. At the nearby encampment of Valley Forge, the rude bridge at Concord, and the crumbling battlements of Yorktown bear vivid interest. We have heard much, though we cannot hear it too often, about 56 Americans who cast their votes and later signed their names to Thomas Jefferson's ringing Declaration of Equality and Freedom, so movingly read to us this morning by Miss Marian Anderson. Do you know what price the signers of that parchment paid for their patriotism, the devotion to principle of which Lincoln spoke? John Hancock of Massachusetts was one of the wealthiest men who came to Philadelphia. Later, as he stood outside Boston and watched the enemy sweep by, he said, "Burn Boston, though it makes John Hancock a beggar." Altogether, of the 56 men who signed our great declaration, 5 were taken prisoner, 12 had their homes sacked, 2 lost their sons, 9 died in the war itself. Those men knew what they were doing. In the final stirring words of the Declaration, they pledged to one another our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. And when liberty was at stake, they were willing to pay the price. We owe a great debt to these founders and to the foot soldier who followed General Washington into battle after battle, retreat after retreat. But it is important to remember that final success in that struggle for independence, as in the many struggles that have followed, was due to the strength and support of ordinary men and women who were motivated by 3 powerful impulses: personal freedom, self-government, and national unity. For all all but the black slaves, many of whom fought bravely beside their masters because they also heard the promise of declaration. Freedom was won in 1783. But the loose Articles of Confederation have proved inadequate in war and were even less effective in peace. Again in 1787, representatives of the people in the states met in this place to form a more perfect union, a permanent legal mechanism that would translate the principles and purposes of Jefferson's Declaration into effective self-government. 6 signers of the Declaration came back to forge the Constitution, including the sage of Philadelphia, Benjamin Franklin. Jefferson had replaced him as ambassador in Paris. The young genius of the Constitutional Convention was another Virginian, James Madison. The hero of the Revolution, Washington, was called back from Mount Vernon to preside. Seldom in history have the men who made a revolution seen it through, but the United States was fortunate. The result of their deliberations and compromises was our Constitution, which William Gladstone, a great British Prime Minister, called the most wonderful work ever struck off at a given time by the brain and purpose of man. The Constitution was created to make the promise of the Declaration come true. The Declaration was not a protest against government, but against the excesses of government. It prescribed the proper role of government to secure the rights of individuals and to affect their safety and their happiness. In modern society, no individual can do this all alone. So government is not necessarily evil, but a necessary good. The framers of the Constitution feared a central government that was too strong, as many Americans rightly do today. The framers of the Constitution, after their experience under the Articles, feared a central government that was too weak, as many Americans rightly do today. They spent days studying all of the contemporary governments of Europe and concluded with Dr. Franklin that all contained the seeds of their own destruction. So the framers built something new, drawing upon their English traditions, on the Roman Republic, on the uniquely American institution of the town meeting, to reassure those who felt the original Constitution did not sufficiently spell out the unalienable rights of the Declaration. The first United States Congress added, and the states ratified, the first 10 amendments, which we call the Bill of Rights. Later, after a tragic fraternal war, those guarantees were expanded to include all Americans. Later still, voting rights were assured for women and for younger citizens 18 to 21 years of age. It's good to know that in our own lifetime, we have taken part in the growth of freedom and in the expansion of equality, which began here so long ago. This union of corrected wrongs and expanded rights has brought the blessings of liberty to 215 million Americans, but the struggle for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is never truly won. Each generation of Americans, indeed of all humanity, must strive to achieve these aspirations anew. Liberty is a living flame to be fed, not dead ashes to be revered. Even in a bicentennial year, it is fitting that we ask ourselves hard questions, even on a glorious day like today. Are the institutions under which we live working the way they should? are the foundations laid in 1776 and 1789 still strong enough and sound enough to resist the tremors of our times? Are our God-given rights secure, our hard-won liberties protected? The very fact that we can ask these questions, that we can freely examine and criticize our society, is cause for confidence itself. Many of the voices raised in doubt 200 years ago are served to strengthen and improve the decisions finally made. The American adventure is a continuing process. As one milestone is passed, another is sighted. As we achieve one goal, a longer lifespan, a literate population, a leadership in world affairs, we raise our sights. As we begin our third century, there is still so much to be done. We must increase the independence of the individual and the opportunity of all Americans to attain their full potential. We must ensure each citizen's right to privacy. We must create a more beautiful America, making human works conform to the harmony of nature. We must develop a safer society, so ordered that happiness may be pursued without fear of crime or man-made hazards. We must build a more stable international order, politically, economically, and legally. We must match the great breakthroughs of the past century by improving health and conquering disease. We must continue to unlock the secrets of the universe beyond our planet, as well as within ourselves. We must work to enrich the quality of American life at work, at play, and in our homes. It is right that Americans are always improving. It is not only right, it is necessary. From need comes action, as it did here in Independence Hall. Those fierce political rivals, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, in their later years carried out a warm correspondence. Both died on the 4th of July of 1826, having lived to see the handiwork of their finest hour endure a full 50 years. They had seen the Declaration's clear call for human liberty and equality, arouse the hopes of all mankind, and Jefferson wrote to Adams that even should the cloud of barbarism and despotism again obscure the science and libraries of Europe, this country remains to preserve and restore light and liberty to them. Over a century later, in 1936, Jefferson's dire prophecy seemed about to come true. President Franklin D. Roosevelt, speaking for a mighty nation, reinforced by millions and millions of immigrants who had joined the American adventure, was able to warn the new despotism. We too, born to freedom and believing in freedom, are willing to fight to maintain freedom. We and all others who believe as deeply as we do would rather die on our feet than live on our knees. The world knows where we stand. The world is ever conscious of what Americans are doing, for better or for worse. Because the United States today remains the most successful realization of humanity's universal hope. The world may or may not follow, but we lead because our whole history says we must. Liberty is for all men and women, as a matter of equal and unalienable right. The establishment of justice and peace abroad will in large measure depend upon the peace and justice we create here in our own country, where we still show the way. The American adventure began here with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence. It continues in a common conviction that the source of our blessings is a loving God, in whom we trust. Therefore, I ask all the members of the American family, our guests and friends, to join me now in a moment of silent prayer and meditation in gratitude for all that we have received, and to ask continued safety and happiness for each of us and for the United States of America. Thank you, and God bless you.
So there you have it. That was President Gerald Ford's speech delivered on July 4th of 1976 during the bicentennial celebration. President Ford delivered remarks outside Independence Hall, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, during the bicentennial celebration. Recalling a speech by President Lincoln and the Founding Fathers, President Ford reflects on the constitutionality of government and the American adventure in self-government. It was actually pretty interesting. He mentioned some of the history of the people who signed the Declaration of Independence and what happened to them because of signing that, and what their sacrifice was for going forward with that. Now, this speech did go out over shortwave back then, and before this, obviously, the president's messages were usually put out to ensure that the service people throughout the world was able to hear any of the president's remarks. And, of course, some other radio stations throughout the world picked up the broadcast also and transmitted it. Now, being a history buff, and I do remember, because this was such a big event back then, I do remember this speech given by President Ford. So let us know. Do you remember this speech? Do you remember the bicentennial? Do you remember how historic it was back then? This was 50 years ago now. So let us know. Send us an email at VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com, or head over to our website at VOSRinternational.com, and you can click on the mail icon and contact us that way. And now onto the mailbag. First off, we have an email from regular listener Bernd from Ottenau, Germany, and he writes, "Hello, Jeff and the VOSR team. I am pleased to submit my reception report. The receiver used was a Grundig Satellite 700 with a telescopic antenna, which is a really, really good radio, by the way. Listening on June 11th, 2026, I listened to the English language broadcast on 6160 kilohertz with an SINPO of 44343. And then the same day, the broadcast was also on a 3975 kilohertz at the same time, actually, at 1800 UTC. And reported an SINPO of 44444, so slightly better on a 3975. And that is kind of interesting, because I go on to Kiwi SDRs throughout Europe when that broadcast is going on, and a lot of times it seems that I get 6160 slightly better, but they are very close, just like Byrne confirms here. So thank you, Bernd, for your emails. It's really great to get these. So if you are a regular listener and you do send in reception reports, don't be afraid to send them in all the time and send them in often. It really gives me a handle on how the broadcast is going out. Bernd has really communicated out over in his area and in his listeners group. I've gotten quite a few emails from the listeners group, from people in it, and we've added a lot more pins over in Europe because of that. So thank you so much, Bernd. And the next email is from Liam, and regular listener and our guest host. And this was right after his guest broadcast where he took over the whole hour of VOSR International. He writes, "Hi, Jeff. Just finished listening to me on 5850 kilohertz with a good signal. I would give it an SINPO of 44444. I'm listening now on 9455, and that has an SINPO of 553. 9355. Perfect, but I have that annoying 60 hertz buzz under 9455 kilohertz. I don't have that issue here in Hawaii. It comes in pretty good on 9455 kilohertz. Don't have a lot of background noise with that. But 5850 I just cannot pick up here in Hawaii, and that has kind of been hit or miss. For a while there, towards early spring, I was getting a lot of communications from people listening on 5850 kilohertz. So, but when you do write in a reception report, try to let me know what frequency you are listening in on, because that will really help determine how the broadcast is being transmitted. Thanks again, Liam. And next, an email from regular listener Justin from Wisconsin, South Central. He was listening on June 12th on 9455 kilohertz, listening with an RSP Duo using a K480 WLA antenna, reporting an SINPO of 55444. So very good signal going over to Wisconsin. He writes, thank you, Liam, for guest hosting. I really enjoyed hearing the clips you played on this week's shows. Thank you so much, Justin, and thank you for being a regular reception report email sender that, again, it really helps knowing how the signal goes out, and thank you for your kind comments. Liam did do an excellent job on that broadcast, and I need to thank Liam also. And next we have an email from Dr. Michael, and he is emailing from the Chicago suburbs. He writes, your signal is coming in loud and clear here in the Chicago burbs on a C Crane Skywave 2 using a telescopic antenna at 6:55 p.m. local time on 6/13/26. Thank you so much, Dr. Michael. Hopefully you'll become a regular VOSR international listener if you aren't already. It's really good to hear that. And I originally was born in Chicago, so I am familiar with the area, and I do have a C Crane Skywave SSB2 that is a great radio, so I really enjoyed that also. So thanks again, Michael. And next, I received an email just a little bit ago from Joe, a regular listener in New Jersey, and he attached a video from YouTube and writes, seeing this video about how amazing the Oatson DX286 can do on AM reception with a good wire antenna, I'm curious about what results would be towards the West Coast, Mexico, and Asia from your location in Molokai, especially with the all-water path. I know we're awaiting your results, and what you get from the 286 could surprise many DXers. Will the 286 do better than others on Hawaii midwave video I sent you earlier this year? And that is one thing that I kind of got pushed to the back burner, is more videos on that Oatson 286. I definitely still have it. I've got definitely a lot more videos to make. I did some on shortwave reception, but I haven't done any on midwave and AM broadcasting yet, which I definitely want to do. We've had some people come visit. We had some some trips we had to make because of doctor's visits and things like that off island. But those will be coming in the future. I will get back to the Oatson DX286, and I will do an update and have a part 2, or it might even be a part 3 now, that I had done here on the broadcast. So I do want to update that. I haven't done that yet, but that is coming, Joe, and I will get those out, and you will be able to hear how the reception is over here in Hawaii. Thank you very much. All right, we are going to end the mailbag here, and again, keep the emails coming in. We are getting into the dead of summer now, and I know people are busy doing a lot of other things, but keep those emails coming in. They can be brief; it doesn't have to be huge email to write in, but send us your emails. Tell us where you're at. Tell us how the conditions were when you were listening. Let us know about the segments that you like, or segments that you'd like to see, like Joe's reminder here on the Oatson DX286, and we'll get those put on the air. So send your emails in to VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com, or head over to our website at VOSRinternational.com, and you can click on the mail icon and contact us that way. And now on to a programming segment. This one is going to be about shortwave radio in Madagascar. And one thing that brought it to the forefront for me, when I get anything from Madagascar, it's I don't want to say really rare, but it's not as common. The propagation has to be pretty good for it to be listenable. And what really changed for me was when I did the upgrade to my K480 WLA antenna. I added that quarter-inch piece of copper tubing and a little bit more than a 36-inch diameter. And one of the first stations that I picked up, and it was much stronger, was the BBC broadcasting from Madagascar. So it really made it much more enjoyable, and I listened to Madagascar quite a bit more often because I catch it more often, and it's much more listenable. So just a little history here. Madagascar is a major global hub for shortwave broadcasting, largely driven by high-powered Madagascar World Voice, MWV, station in Mahajanga and various international relay sites. These facilities broadcast religious, news, cultural programming across Africa, the Middle East, Europe, and the Americas. So Madagascar World Voice, MWV, is operated by World Christian Broadcasting, and MWV acts as a sister station to KNLS in Alaska. The location is Mahajanga, Madagascar, and it broadcasts in languages of English, Arabic, Mandarin, Chinese, Russian, and Spanish. For frequencies, MWV utilizes various frequencies depending on the time and target region. Notably, current channels include 11610 kilohertz, and that's in Arabic, 11825 kilohertz in Chinese, and 13670 kilohertz in English, and that's the one that I have been getting quite a bit better here in Hawaii. They also have international relays. Due to its prime geographical location, Madagascar is frequently used as a relay station for major international broadcasters. The BBC World Service often relays its African broadcasts through Madagascar on 9915 or kilohertz or 25900 kilohertz, targeting Central and West Africa. Radio Netherlands Worldwide, RNW, historically used Madagascar relays to beam programming globally. And then local broadcasting. While domestic international shortwave is less prominent now in previous decades, the Radio Madagascar has traditionally maintained a presence on 5010 kilohertz. And now for KNLS, I do pick them up pretty well here in Hawaii, them being in Alaska. But again, depending on which way they are beaming, it comes in better and worse depending on the angle that their transmission is going out at. But in general, I get them pretty well here in Hawaii. And I have logged and did some reception videos on that, and you can actually see them over on my website or on my YouTube channel at Wavecrest Guy. So you can go over there. I have a playlist for KNLS, and you can check it out. I will add that playlist over to our website at VOSRinternational.com, and you can check that out because I'll have a page for this segment over there that you can check out. So let us know. Do you pick up Madagascar very well from your location? How well do you get it? Is it solely dependent on propagation, or can you grab it any time? And what do you listen to? Most of the time when I'm picking it up, I'm hearing BBC, which is fine. So I like listening to that. So BBC coming in pretty good all the way from Madagascar to Hawaii is actually some of the longest transmissions that I've really picked up. So works out great for me. So send us an email at VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. Or go over to our website at VOSRinternational.com. and click on our mail icon and contact us that way. Let us know how well you're getting in Madagascar. And now an equipment segment, and this one is a short follow-up, an update for my upgrades to my K480 WLA antenna. I had recently did the upgrade of copper tubing, replacing the wire that came with the antenna for the loop. I was given some a quarter-inch copper tubing, and I was able to use that, and it did make a significant difference. And I definitely recommend that that upgrade. So I had also heard other people replacing the cable, and I ordered an RG8X cable for my antenna. It did finally come in. I haven't had a chance to put it through its paces yet and see how much of a difference it is making. But there's a couple things that I did want to mention about this upgrade when you are thinking about doing a replacement for your K480 WLA. First off, the cable that it comes with has connectors that are TNC male to SMA male. So you have to keep that in mind when you're ordering this cable. What I ended up doing, because I had extra connectors or adapters, is I bought the SMA male to SMA female, and I do have a adapter that'll do SMA to TNC, and put that out to the antenna. So check yours. There might have been different versions of this, and I know they have different connectors that come with the antenna, so you can change them out and make them a little bit easier, or at least compatible with what you're trying to connect it to. So keep that in mind when you are ordering one of these cables, to look for those connectors. Now, one thing that I can tell the difference of is right away is much thicker. So if you are running it into your home, running it through a window, I've got some in Hawaii. Their jealousy windows are common here. That kind of crank out the little slat type windows, and I'm able to feed that through. So this wasn't a big problem here. It does give me a little bit more of a gap in my screen, but otherwise it wasn't that much difference. But you can tell the difference right away from the thickness of this cable. So it's got a lot more insulating power than the other cable does. The other thing that I wanted to mention too is that I don't have a long run from my lanai to my radios. It's probably only about 15 feet. I believe I bought the 20-foot wheel of cable here. You can get it at different lengths. So I don't have a really long run. That's why I'm kind of curious to see how much this will make a difference. If you have a longer run, I would have to believe that this would be more beneficial to you than it might be for me making a relatively short run from my radio to the antenna. So first off, connecting it, of course, is very simple. You just put your connectors on and screw them on, and you're ready to go. And then, of course, you'll have to run the wire. First off, first difference, first thing I noticed in putting it on, and this was just on one of the stronger shortwave stations, is that it did show improvement. The noise level did drop a little bit overall. And when the noise level drops, it does make the broadcast come in a little bit clearer. Anyways, a little bit easier to make out. So I believe I did notice a difference, and I was only able to do it very briefly, and I will have more extensive information as I continue on and try it on different broadcasts. So I will have different videos coming up, and I will end up posting those, and I will post them on VOSRinternational.com, and I will have them on my YouTube channel over at Wavecrest Guy. So be looking for those, and you'll be able to check those out. By the time this broadcast hits, hopefully there'll be a few of them on there that you'll be able to check out. I know from posts and from the Facebook group and our group over at Reddit, there are quite a few more people that have turned to this K480 WLA antenna. So I know it's becoming more popular. Most people that I know say it's the best one out there and the best one that they have. So let me know. Do you have one of these antennas, and have you made any upgrades to it? And what upgrades have you made? Have you made the upgrade of the cable? And did that make a difference for you? Let us know. Send us an email at VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. or head over to our website at VOSRinternational.com, and you can click on the mail icon and contact us that way. And now on to a programming segment, and this one is specifically about VROW, the voice of shortwave radio. I listen to this broadcast, faithfully, and he broadcasts on 4840 kilohertz. He's also on some WRMI, different frequencies at different times and different days. And I'm able to pick up the 4840 kilohertz broadcast here in Hawaii, mostly during the wintertime. It's usually darker then, and propagation is much better for listening to get that broadcast in. And then he also just came out a few months ago broadcasting on 9705 kilohertz from Radio Taiwan. And that one is being broadcast at 300 kilowatts, so plenty of power. It's over here close to Hawaii, so this broadcast actually comes booming in here. And so I listen to that one. To me, it comes in on Wednesday evening at 11 o'clock at night, so 11 p.m. Hawaii time. So I really enjoyed that broadcast, and that one he does when he broadcasts on 4840. He does have a different broadcast. He doesn't just do one broadcast per week. And on the 9705 from Taiwan, he doesn't do as much news and talk about current events. So it's a lot more music. Which I love both of the programming. I love it when he's talking over the news and then goes into the music. I like both versions, but it is different. So I try to still catch the 4840 kilohertz version if I can. Now, when I was listening on June 10th, his June 10th broadcast, I went ahead and I get my antenna all set up on my lanai here, and I turn it on a few minutes before the broadcast is going to start, and it's dead air. There's nothing on 9705 before this broadcast, and so I'm just kind of waiting. And I noticed on June 10th that I was getting a lot of interference from a nearby broadcast. I was getting it from Radio New Zealand, which is on 9700 kilohertz. And again, that one comes in really strong here to Hawaii. But as soon as the broadcast came on, the VORW broadcast came on, I didn't have a problem. I was listening on my Grundig Satellite 800 Millennium, and that does have a sync feature, which concentrates the main signal and tries to eliminate the background noise from other interfering signals, and that worked great. I didn't really have any bleed over or anything like that, and it worked good for me. But I suppose on a lesser radio, you would have that issue where Radio New Zealand could be blocking out the broadcast. Well, I didn't really think anything about it. And then all of a sudden I got an email from VORW, and I have sent them reception reports before and even requested music, so I was probably in his mailing list. So he probably sent this out to anyone who had sent him emails in the past. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read the email now. And it says, "Dear listeners, due to significant interference which has emerged from a neighboring station, causing reception issues in the existing broadcast on 9705 kilohertz, I have made a decision to immediately change the frequencies in order to resolve this issue. This is a one-time newsletter is being sent in order to inform listeners of this change. Effective immediately, the transmission to East Asia will now be heard on 9740 kilohertz instead of 9705 kilohertz. The transmitter power, the broadcast time, the target area remain exactly the same. This change is being solely managed the issue of interference to ensure clear reception to listeners in the target area and beyond." Here's the updated broadcast schedule. So his schedule is listed as Thursdays at 090 UTC on 9740 kilohertz. from Taiwan at 300 kilowatts, East Asia, Southeast Asia, Pacific, and the Americas. Each program is 1 hour in length, and the aim of the radio show is to provide good music and commentary to listeners worldwide. Oftentimes, listener music requests are taken and played, and all are invited to participate. Reception reports, which will be verified with an EQSL, and additional feedback are most welcome at vorwinfo@gmail.com. Thank you for your patience and understanding and the reception feedback, which informed me of this reception issue and allowed me to resolve it promptly. And signed John Jurassic from VORW International. Now, John is doing this broadcast for over a decade now, and has quite the following. So with this new broadcasting, a new broadcasting power of 300 kilowatts out to Asia, he has quite a following, and so he probably got quite a few emails if there was an issue. And again, I did notice it on my Grundig until the show started. So I really think that there's a lot of radios that would have had a problem bringing this in with Radio New Zealand coming in that clear also on 9700 kilohertz. So it's great that he was able to make that change. And change that over. So this week actually is going to be this week as I'm broadcasting this. So for me, it'll be Wednesday, June 17th at 11 p.m. I'm going to be able to listen to the new broadcast frequency of 9740 kilohertz. So I will see how that comes in, and I will report back. But I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that change. There's probably some people over on the west coast of the U.S. picking up this broadcast. I would think they pick it up pretty good. It does come into Hawaii here. I'm a little guy extremely strong. I could pick it up with just a telescopic antenna, and honestly, I don't even have to extend it. It comes in so well. So it's a really strong broadcast coming out of Taiwan. So there you have it. So let me know, do you listen to this broadcast or do you solely listen to him on WRMI or 4840 kilohertz? Do you listen to VORW? Send us an email at VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. Or head over to our website at VOSRinternational.com. and click on the mail icon and contact us that way.
And that concludes our broadcast. Be sure to catch our broadcasts every Saturday at 0300 UTC on 9455 kilohertz, and also on Saturdays at 2300 UTC on 15770 kilohertz. Transmitted by WRMI Radio Miami International from Okeechobee, Florida.
We are also broadcast by Shortwave Radio Gold in Lower Saxony, Germany, on Thursdays at 1800 UTC on both 3975 kilohertz and 6160 kilohertz.